Okay. And I start with a little thing about the one-to-one. There's a possibility to call me if you want to, just normal calling, like a friend. And we chat. We can chat a little bit. It's not for just for a short chat. You can call me. There's no charge of that. And during my day, I'm living in Amsterdam, in Holland, so you can call me. And if I'm there, I will answer. And there's also the possibility to do a one-to-one. If you want to talk some later, then it's better to email me, and then we set a date, and then we talk with Zoom or maybe with Skype if you want to. We can do we can do that. Okay, so this is very, very, very normal. It's not a special thing to reach. There's nothing to reach. There's nowhere to go. It's already what's apparently is happening. That's already. So this is so literally and simple. There's nothing more or nothing less than that what's happening. And when the abstract mind is functioning, and there's so many thoughts about what's the best, what's before, what's after, it's always two, like before, after, now, then, behind. There's a lot of things, right and wrong, of course, that's a big one. And so there's also when there's I am here in this life and I'm living my life and there are circumstances and they happen to me. There are thoughts, they're my thoughts or feelings and my feelings. The body is mine. I have to take care of it. And a lot of beliefs and concepts about how to live your life. When there's two, there's always a subtle or stronger feeling. How can I deal with what's going on? Everything is happening to me and I have to deal. I'm here. I have to deal with everything. And there's a good way and a bad way. The good way is that I feel good. The bad way means I feel bad. So it isn't going all right. So I have to do something else. When there's me, and that you can say there's a separation. There's something, I'm here and there's the world and there's other people. So I'm here and there's somebody else. So there's always somewhere a missing of something or a feeling there's something gone wrong, or maybe I'm not good enough, or all that is underneath, and that's underneath everything. When I am in my life and I have to make my life work, there's always something going on, and underneath it's coloring everything, and it's seeing circumstances as real, because when there's I am here, then suddenly the body seems real. Everything seems real and solid and really happening to me. I'm real. I'm here. This is my body. I have to take care of it. I have to behave in a certain way. It's learning. There's a lot of learning going on because there seems to be something right and something wrong. And wanting to feel good is a strong way and strong survival mechanisms, like not wanting to feel pain and trying to feel comfortable and good all the time. Can be a lot of beliefs about that. What's the best way in that? And then there's here in this kind of meetings about non-duality, they're saying there's no one. When there's no one, there's also no story. Then the whole story is gone. So there's no one. That means the body isn't real. There's nothing real. There's nothing solid. It's an appearance of all kind of walls and sounds and feelings. Seeing tables, maybe. And that's everything. It's apparently everything. So when there's no me, there's also no story. When there's no story, there are no problems. It's what it is. It's not saying that to yourself. I hear some people saying like, oh, it's what it is. That's talking to yourself and making something extra on that what is happening. It's one. So there's wall, there's a feeling, there's sound, sitting, Not for anyone, not to anyone. That's two. There's one. We're not used to see that. We're used, there's always thinking in two. It's happening to me, it's happening to her. Because of her, I'm like this, and all that. So there's also living in time. Because and why. And then they're saying, no, there's no one. There's no story. There's only one. And you can't, most people can't you get your head around it. Maybe you can understand in some way. But this is even not about understanding. There can be an understanding in a strong or subtle way. Or maybe a recognition or a resonance about this. But this is not really about understanding. It's drinking tea. It's a describing of what's going on. There's nothing to learn. There's nowhere to go. So there's also not trying to convince, or there's no meaning in this meeting. There's never meaning. There's meeting. There's nowhere there's meaning. Life doesn't have meaning. It is. So meaning is also a construct in the story. There's no meaning. There's no purpose. There's nowhere to go. It's what it is, and that's it. It's very simple and very ordinary. There's no escape of that, what it is. And it's not happening to you or to the body. The body isn't real. Nothing is real. It's an appearance of, seems to be bodies. When there's saying there's no time, there's also no continuation. When there's no continuation, the body can't be, it's there, and then suddenly, and then there's the floor. Nothing continues. It is something else. Can't follow it because there's no one. There are a lot of ideas about how to deal with what's going on, living in the now maybe. But it's always talking to someone or learning something. Most people are about learning, and with your thoughts you can do something. Believing in free will and choice. And in these meetings, there's no free will and choice. When there's no one, there's also no free will and no choice. So there's no control. And the strange thing is, even it's not strange at all. There never was control. It's an assumption that we are in control. We can choose our lives. There's no one choosing. There never was. So it's not like suddenly you have no choice. There never was a choice. There never was control. So it's more a description of what's going on. It's like, oh, it was already like that. So in that way, there's nothing, when they're talking about, there's suddenly no me anymore. It's only in the story. You can talk like that, because then there's talking in time. But there never was me. It's a belief that's really embodied and seen like I'm here and having a free will. It's a dream. It's a story. There's no free will. There's no choice. There's what is happening, and it's not happening to me, to you. There is no me or you. It's what it is. So we can talk about that, and you can ask any question. It doesn't matter if it's a question in the story, how to deal with things, and there are problems maybe and anything. It doesn't matter. It's everything. This is everything. Life is everything. So talking in the story happens. Maybe understanding happened, or not understanding happens. It can be both. And nothing matters. Not saying to yourself, because when they're saying to yourself, yeah, nothing matters, that's a bit dull and like flat. It's not saying that to yourself. It's life is everything. So there can be feelings like that, or the table. It's not about a person, an individual. Life doesn't see individuals. It's energetic, so it's energy, tables, walls, feelings, sound. It's everything. It's everything. So there's nothing is more important than something else. That's amazing. Nothing is more important than something else because it's not about me. When there's me, it seems like this is more important than that because that makes me feel good. When there's no me, nothing matters. It's that what's happening, what's apparently is happening. There's no choice. There's also no escape. There's what's happening. It's full on. And it can be subtle, can be strong feeling, or the table, or sound, or wall. It's that. It's singular. It's one. So I can talk about that. Maybe there are questions. Maybe there's nothing to say. We'll see. Mm. Also, where we suddenly remember talking about that last time, there are no relations. When there's no one here. Here, you could say. It's not even here because there's no here. There's no one. But there's in a body, there's not someone inside. So there are no individuals. So there can be seeing a person like a body, but there's no one inside. There never was. So there are no relations also. Somebody say, can you tell us something about ego? I'm not so know so much about it. What for me, ego is that me has an ego. Sometimes me has an ego, like I'm here and I feel something like that. There's something going on, looking at myself, and this is right and this is wrong. When it's really I'm going, and some people has a lot of feelings about I'm good in some things, or I'm very powerful and very important and all that. But it's me with an ego. And then some people have strong egos and strong feelings like I'm here and important and powerful or good. And some people don't have that so strongly and are more into I'm not worth it and I'm not good enough and all that. Being a victim, maybe. But it's the same me. There can be some different ways to deal with me, to be trying to be powerful or trying to be rich or trying to be doing good or all that, and showing that or not showing that in a way. In the end, it's always about me. It doesn't matter if it's like a big ego, like a lot of people see me and all that, or it's more subtle and maybe it's about victimhood that can also be, or feeling not very much. And then it's always feeling like everything is happening to me and I'm the one that's hurt, and people don't take, how do you say that? I don't know the words. It's not that they don't do good things to me and they are bad for me and I don't trust them and all that, feeling awful. It's the same me. It's the same story about me. If it's right or wrong or bad or good, it's always the same story about what's going on. It's happening to me and I have to deal with it. And it's my fault, or it's the fault of the world or some people or something else. But it's always about me in the end, trying to feel good about myself or trying to behave in a certain way so I get a lot of attention. There are a lot of ways to behave and to do things. When there's me, there's a lot of concepts and beliefs going on. It's part of that survival system. Can be anything. When there's no me, that's everything is lost. All those that it's talking in the story, all those ideas about how to behave and all, what's the best way and all that, it's lost. It doesn't mean I don't do that anymore because I've seen that it's not good or anything. No, it's lost. It doesn't arise. So there's no escape in what's going on. And there's no awareness. So the awareness is part of that me, and looking at yourself and making other people look at me, or yeah, or in what way. That when there's no me, there's also no awareness. So there's no one looking at myself, not noticing what's going on. So it's what's happening, and there's no escape. So this is not about no ego.
Rose, and
Oh,
ego and mind, it's all just words, isn't it? I mean, how can you prove their
yeah,
existence? It's like you
no,
believe in
no.
it because you hear it, right? But what is that really? It's
Mm,
that I don't think there's, I mean, I don't know, maybe just for me, it's just all those things completely fell away. Like they have no base for any
no.
sort of
No, but
anything.
when there's a story, there's a lot of beliefs and concepts about, and then it seems like it's the real way. I have a life, and I have to behave, and this is my ego, and a lot of explanation. It's the abstract mind, or abstract the brain, or how you can say that. It's all that.
Yeah,
It's useless. It doesn't matter at all, but it seems very convincing in talking about things
in the
and behaving and all that. Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
yeah. And I remember when the it seemed to fall away here, like the blame for others and yourself. It was
Mm,
actually very annoying. I was very annoyed at that because it's fun
mm.
to blame others and yourself.
Yeah.
It gives you, right? It gives you something to live for. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is terrible. Look how bad I
Yeah, you
am.
don't want that awful feeling, and you can give it to
Yes.
somebody else. You did that and then you have to
Yeah.
change. Yeah.
Oh man. And I remember something happening and I was like, oh my God, I can't, why can't I just like it was like a surreal for me. It was
Mm.
surreal to not, it wasn't working anymore to do that. And I was so frustrated. I was like, come on, let's just just
Oh,
play and it doesn't
yeah.
work.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
that happens. And
Yeah. That's the loss where we talk about. It's not like, "Oh, I feel better now." No.
no, I
No.
actually felt I couldn't understand what was
Mm.
happening. And then I remember my mom saying like, of course it's their fault. I'm like, is it? It was like
Uh,
really, it's
yeah.
really strange. It doesn't yeah, yeah, very
But that's what I mean with no escape. Because when I was going to Tony Parsons meetings and all that, it was very abstract to me, understanding that, but it didn't ring a bell in some way. And then suddenly, what you said, there's something lost, and suddenly it's felt or it's lived like that. Oh my God, that's something else. It's not comfortable always. It's like, oh, It's really like, oh, it's not coming. That trying to blame somebody or maybe even more things like that. But yeah, if no escape means no escape. Like that feeling can be there, feeling awful, feeling not awful, but feeling like that or pain or whatever, and that there's no escape from that. But in the end, and that's getting used to it or something going on. It's like there's that feeling is not, we are assuming always it's awful and I don't want that, but it's not awful or nice. It's what it is, and then suddenly it's like, oh, it's really like that, but it's also unconditional love. It's not knowing that, but it's, yeah, that's unconditional love. Wow, it's full on. Wow, what amazing. But you can't, it's not looking at it, it's in it. No, yeah, not being in it. You can't even describe how it is. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's always so many things that just comes up, especially like if it has to do with health. It's so
Mhm.
many ideas, so many things,
Yeah,
and you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. And for years I didn't eat meat, and now they're saying you have to eat meat, and you know, and it's like it's never ending, I guess to make
yeah.
yourself feel better or whatnot.
Mm,
And it's that's a really strong, I feel like that's very strong belief, that's a
yeah.
very
Mm,
very
yeah,
embodied, like with
yeah,
health, that something can help
yeah,
you, that it's because
yeah,
of this. But it's
yeah.
absolutely evident that sometimes you can find like certain physicians that are um kind of in and out, they kind of get it and they kind of
Mm,
kind of don't. But those
yeah.
physicians even say that's not, I'm not like, it's not me doing anything, it's just the way, like I've met a few of those that are, but very 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 rarely. But it's
Mm.
interesting because everybody's always offering advice what to do, and then if the advice doesn't work but it's worked for someone else, oh my
Yeah,
god.
of course, that's how it goes. And it's so tempting because you want to feel good and you want to be
Yes.
sure. You want to know that you're right. And then that's because me wants to feel okay and sure, and knowing is a huge thing to use that to know if you're okay or healthy or all that. This is about not knowing, really, really not knowing. It's no big deal because so what? But when there's suddenly that me going on and then saying not knowing, it's like, oh my God, there can be such a fear of that and
Oh,
wanting
it's
to
terrible.
know or
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
sure, all that. It's even also like when this was going on and when there's no me, want to be sure. How do you feel sure about there's no me? I'm not. I'm not sure. No, it's not about that too. That's awful too, because you're never sure about anything. Also, if there's no me anymore. No, there's that what's going on is that question about, is there a me or is this not, is this the me or not? Huh? I thought, is this the me? Those questions and those thoughts don't arise. So there's nothing going on about it. I'm not sure. No, it's something else. Wow, that's so different as what we're used to.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it breaks everything apart, and it
yeah.
could, yeah, sometimes it's and it doesn't matter because depending on what can appear to happen, it could completely come back, or not, and then you're off to the races going crazy. And
But nothing is real. That's the amazing thing. Nothing, the body isn't real. Circumstances are not real. It changes. That. The body isn't even real. How can we take care of something that's not real? Even circumstances are not real. See what happened before. There's no before. So there's there's nothing to worry. But we are so into everything is solid, circumstances are solid, countries are solid, my body is solid. All that makes it complicated because then, of course, then something is important and to take care and all that going. Nothing is real. That's knocks everything down. It's God. How is
uh,
that? Yeah.
yeah,
Even
yeah, that's
the body isn't real. Oh my God, that was the last thing I saw because I always thought, yeah, circumstance, yeah, I can understand that. But the body, wow, that's something else. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can't understand that. Sorry, it's just so, because
Yeah.
because you're for the person, it's real. It's completely solid. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, what do you mean? I'm
Yeah,
sitting,
sure. Yeah, sure. It's sure. And it's
Yeah.
funny. It's not that suddenly it's like it's that what I can tell, that idea or that it's a belief that it's solid. And we normally think, yeah, it's there's no belief, it's sure, it is solid, of course. And then suddenly it's seen, it's obvious, then it's a belief. And when there's something not that strong anymore in that belief, it's suddenly there are moments in the story that that is seen like, oh, it's not real, and then it's forgotten maybe. And well, wow, that's so. Well, there can be. I was walking through the floor like, huh? And then it got away, and I completely forgot because that was a bit too much also. Because
Mhm.
it's a belief, but oh, we are so sure that it's just normal that the body is real.
Is that a
Yeah.
program, like some kind of a program in the brain, like a kind of like something that happens where like a belief becomes so strong because you constantly keep hearing it since you were, however, since you were born? Is that like what?
Yeah, but I think it's more like when the brain is more sophisticated, more like 2 years or 3 years, then can abstract. Because it's about abstracting. You can abstract that everything is real. Normally, it's like there's only seeing this part of the body or an arm. It's only that arm. See, look at little babies. They don't see themselves as a whole body. They're seeing a food and they're like, oh, what's that? And they play with that. It's just there's no one, but there's also not the whole body is there. And then after a while, it's more being able to abstract and seeing like this body is real and this is yours, and the whole story with that. And then there's
Yeah,
an understanding of that, and then it gets embodied, of course. Yeah.
it's also interesting, like if I notice a lot that certain thoughts, like they don't, something comes up and you just passes you by, right? Like it just comes and goes, and then certain ones grip on, and those become important. And I always wonder, like, why is that? It's so interesting how just some are
Mm.
just whatever, and the other ones you think, oh, this is something that I should really think about.
Yeah, but that's part of the me that's being busy with. Why is this? And why is that? Why am I doing that? It's part of that whole story.
I
So
feel like
what?
the whole life of the me is, why am I doing that?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah, of
perfect.
course. Because we want to find out what's the best way. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, like it has to have meaning, for the person. Like this can't all
yeah.
be wasted. I didn't suffer all these years for it to be nothing.
But what's also underneath, there's something going on when that separation, when then I'm here and there's the world or other persons, then there's something missing. And but it's also what's going on is that I'm not good enough. There's something gone wrong. And that's underneath everything. And to make it
Yeah.
right, you ask why, or to be sure, or so to feel good again, because that's huge. That feeling of discomfort and not being
Oh yeah.
satisfied, and that's huge. So that whole drive to make it right is so strong. And it's
Yeah.
such a misunderstanding, because it's so embodied. It's that so strong. You can't say, I don't do that anymore. No, that's impossible.
Right. Yeah, because that's not, I would think that that's because you're of the separation, and then also of all the conditioning and everything else that you know,
Yeah, of course. Well,
wow,
the
that's a lot.
conditioning, it's in the end, there's even no separation and there's no conditioning. There's nothing right or wrong going on. Well, when that's in the same time, when it's so embodied, then that you could say the whole body is standing, how can you, I don't know the English word, but how can you, like, when you're not satisfied, you're like this, like, and you see it in the face, in the body, it's embodied,
Yeah.
that feeling of not being satisfied, I'm not good enough. You see it in the body, something like all that is embodied. So there can be suddenly an insight, oh, it's not true, but that whole thing, that's embodied. It's so strong that goes on, and in certain situations, it's more than other, maybe. But that's so strong that embodies. That's so this is energetic. So it's not only about beliefs. That's so embodied. So that's more than only a belief. You'd say that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really, I don't think you could ever let go of anything, or really, I don't think anything could ever kind of get better, because it's, no matter what I guess the me tries to use, it comes back.
Yeah.
Eventually it still comes back.
But it's the misunderstanding, and not being able to hear that everything is already complete. It's exactly how you're looking, how the face is looking, how that words are coming, how the table is. It's exactly that. There's nothing wrong with anything. Also, not even with you in that way. It's like that, or me, yeah. But it's that, and that's so the longing in a certain way. But it's so like, it's so strong that trying to make it right, and that believing this is complete. This is complete. But how everything's looking and going doesn't mean it's nice. That's something else.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
Mm.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. Mm. And somebody's saying today's thought tried to make. One moment. Oh, so dry. Today, thoughts try to make sense of appearances, but there are no relationships between anything. No, there's everything is singular on its own. So there's a wall, there's walling and sitting and tabling and sounding. It's just that we're living in time. So when there's time, there seems to be before and after, and that's so strong and so normal, and because and all that. Yeah, no. There are no relations, but I can be talking in the story and then about relations, and but it's empty. The talking is empty. Doesn't mean you say that to people. So, yeah. Mm.
Hi, Rose.
Hi.
Today there was also talking in a story, and it felt like a release of tension.
Mm. Yeah, can be.
Mm. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
But would you say this is also meaningless?
Yeah, it's meaningless because there's no one, and the body isn't real. So, what is the meaning of that? It's just what's happening. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
This is killing. No development. Oh wow, we're so into development.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it's still thinking in or feel like the relative and the absolute, something like that.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know so much about that.
Uh-huh.
It's for me. It's too complicated to think like that. It's like yeah. Some people can explain that, but I can't. I don't. I'm not so much
Uh-huh.
interested in those words. It's much more simple. It's
Yeah.
just tea, glass of tea. Yeah. It's just
Mm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Yeah.
nothing to understand about anything. That's the joy also. There's nothing to understand. There can be understanding. That's fine. Of course, this can be nice. There's no need for anything.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a sharing. This morning, I was drinking coffee outside, and yeah, when I give it words, then there was something like there is just aliveness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was so nice to see that or feel that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
when I'm thinking about all those Buddhist teachings that I've done and all those meditations, it's just the opposite.
Mm.
Just
Yeah.
sit
Yeah.
down, just sitting, drinking
Yeah.
coffee, doing nothing, and it's already there.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, don't
Yeah.
have to do anything.
No.
Yeah,
There's no one. There's birds and there's singing and there's
yeah,
sound and
yeah,
there's coffee. It's there's nowhere to go. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Mm. Yeah.
yeah. And then I'm touched by this so.
Mm. Yeah. Hmm. Yes, a question. Rose, is time and space an illusion? Yeah, it's an illusion. There's no time and space. Only in the story there can be. It's very strong belief about there being in the story. There's time, of course, and when you drop something, it falls down and all that. There's no time. It's a construct. Yeah. A lot of times you know about time. Like, what is time? Sometimes it's strange. People say, I know a lot of times it's going like, that's what something like we went yesterday. It's like it never happened. So a lot of people say that about yesterday or last week or things like that. It is. It is like that. It never happened. But we are so sure there's a past. So it can't be like that. But somewhere there's something going on, like, oh, well, that's very frightening when there's no time, because then what is there going on, and where am I in that, and all that.
There's that saying, time flies when you're having fun, because like people are in the flow, like when you're having fun, you're in like a flow state,
Yeah,
and you feel
yeah,
like you're not there, and then it's just it flies by.
that's it. Yeah, yeah, sure. That's it. I mean, in trouble and thinking and all that. Oh my man, that takes a long time. Then time is not flying at all. Yeah, yeah, sure. Mm. It's another chat. This whole thing about no awareness is so perplexing to me. I expect it's like deep sleep, yet even if not me, there does seem, oh, yet even if not me, there seems to be awareness. Can you please talk about that some? Yeah. Awareness is part of me. That's so strange. We are so into, like, when there's I'm here and this is my life and what's going on. There's something going on, like I can look at myself, I can look at the world, or can see that. So there's two. I can see what I look at my feelings or something like that. And when it's crazy, it's so. How can you say it's not there? But it's what I can only say, like, when everything, no, it's not even when everything dropped, when I was in the sauna, that moment, and then that what happened, you could say, like, that trying to be busy with everything, that didn't arise anymore. So nothing dropped, but then that didn't arise. So there was suddenly it stopped. And then it was everything was really clear, but that fell away after a few minutes. And then the awareness wasn't there, but it wasn't noticed. So there was still believing that, it's not even believing there's awareness, but believing I could look at myself and being busy with things. But it didn't happen. But because that's so normal that there's nothing going on, like looking at yourself, being busy with things, when that's not there, it's very normal. So it's not even noticed that the awareness and me wasn't there anymore. So when I talked, after a few months, I talked with some people about that. Then like Tony Parsons, and like that suddenly was realizing, oh, but the awareness is also not there. And that's strange, because when the awareness isn't there, it's not noticed, of course, because there's no awareness. And that's so normal. It's so normal. It really isn't missed or anything, because it's already without awareness, without me, without that choice and ideas and all that. Life goes on. It already did. But there's on top of that, that whole belief that I'm here with my awareness and looking at myself and making things happen with my free will and all that. That whole extra, that seems to be the most important, because my free will and choice and all that is completely useless. It's not needed at all. It can be there. There's nothing wrong with it. But it doesn't have any power or importance at all. It's just a thing that goes on, some extra energy in that way. Seems very important. And underneath there's what's already going on. It's just going on. So that useless thing, you could say, not really a thing, but yet that's dropped. So nothing changes in that way. Because it was already. And there's so many ideas about when there's me and looking at the world, and so many knowledge about religions and being busy, and there's no me, but there's total awareness or all that, total knowing and all that. Because there's subtly, and as I see it, is there's subtly me wants to go on. And when there's total awareness, there's subtly something going on, because that person is saying there's only total awareness. It's part of that whole being, like that person is saying that or feeling that or knowing that, I don't know. So it's still that person. And when I'm talking like when there's no awareness, there's no Roes anymore. There's no Roes. So that idea that there's Roes with no me is also lost. There's no Roes and there's inside no me or something. No, the body isn't real. So there's no one existing. There's no one existing. There's only a face or table or walling. And there's not only here, but it's everywhere like that. That's what we're talking about. So Rose is not important. No. That can be a threat. And there's somebody saying, in some ways, I can get that there's no self-awareness, but doesn't awareness happen to, for example, taste a cup of tea? Isn't that some kind of awareness somewhere? No. It's taste can happen. That's taste. It's one. It's taste. It's taste. That smell, taste, sound, sitting, table. It's on its own. It doesn't need awareness. No. Mm-hmm. Awareness is two, as I see it. Awareness of. So there's two. And this talking about there's only one. There's only one. Walling. And this is not seeing that or being aware or anything. There's only wall. There's no Rose. It's not about Rose or somebody else. walling, that's everything. Walling or sitting, that's everything, nothing else. And then there's, or then, just sound, only that sound, nothing else. Oh, that's it.
Rose, would you say like the when you said there's no when people say there's no me, but there's just total awareness, that's just like another way of saying there's no small me, but there's like a massive me, like like a big massive me that is everything, which is just like ridiculous, really. It's just like another it's a much more special me if it's everything.
Yeah, and saying I am everything, and that makes it in a way special. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's very strong, can be very convincing. Yeah, sure.
Whereas nothing is just, it's just nothing. There's nothing there.
Yeah, and there are appearances like that, and there's feeling like pain, and everything is full on. There's not only nothing, there can be sound and pain and feelings and tables and smell. Well, it's an appearance. So it's not happening to someone. We're not, as human, we think we are important. No, we're not. Nothing is important. No. Or unimportant also. No. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's a question. Rose, when the body is eating, do you feel any enjoyment there? There can be a taste. Oh, this is good. Yeah, it's very normal. And living in this, there's also living in the story and acting normal and saying, I am loving this, not like, oh, there is just loving this. Oh, that's so special. No, it's very normal. It's like, oh God, it's nice, or just normal talking. And there's tasting, and when there's talking in the meetings, then there's very pointing to that. It's singular and all that. Talking in the store, there's nothing being busy with anything, so there's just what's happening, what's going on. And that can be taste or like, oh my God, or just normal. That whole thing, what's lost, is more that whole abstracting, like, oh, why is that? Oh, could I make it something else? Oh, what did I do wrong? Oh, could I make, oh, that should be like that. All that's lost. But more the practical, that what's happening also. Making list for the shopping. That goes on. But what's also lost is it should be like this, then I feel better about what's going on. So when there's eating, and there can be like, oh, it's awful, it should be more like this, and could you make all that? I don't know. It's something like that. It should be different, or it's not what I want, and all that. That's lost. There's nothing going on. It doesn't mean that it's saying, oh, this is awful, I don't like that. Can be. Yeah. Doesn't mean it has to change. Just that. Just saying that. You can't say how it is. That's impossible because it's everything. So it can be any response. And it's everything. What's also unique in this is that there's a lot of, could say, like body minds going on, like, and it's all different. It's unique, like Roes and some other body minds and all that. It's all unique. So that's the beauty of life. It's unique. It's like that. It doesn't mean you like it, but it's unique. There's nothing wrong with anything. It's like that.
There's a little chat.
Oh, yeah. Do you find joy in everything? There is. Life is joy, you could say, in a subtle way. So there's that aliveness, that joy, that's in everything. In everything. That's how life is that. Look at little babies, you could see it in really, but it's also in it's joy, but it's not like joy like feeling good. It's the aliveness is also in anger or in crying or table or smell or anything. It's alive. It's so alive. And then it's like, oh my God, what is this? Gee, oh God, what a smell. But it's, yeah, it's that. So it's, you could say unconditional love, but unconditional love is not a feeling or thing. That's, you can say in a subtle way, joy. But it's also unconditional love. You could say that too. I couldn't call it unconditional love because it's unconditional. It's unconditional. It's alive. It's that, and it's jumping on, jumping. No, how can you say it? It's unconditional. There's nothing right and wrong. It's energy. We thinking we are separate and we have to deal with everything. There's no separation. It's energy going. There's no free will or me or choice or all that. There's no me. There's no individual. And it's an appearance of energies which going and going bung and ding and all that. Because we are seeing in light, it seems like this different body, and we believe there are circumstances in time and all that. So there becomes a big story. It's a dream. So it's already free. It doesn't mean it feels free. It's not about a state or something. Because it's unconditional, means it's everything. It's not happening to someone. There's no one. There never was.
Hi, Rose.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much for how beautifully you convey this message. It's like music. It just sings. It just sings to me. And I've been on a marathon of your videos.
A marathon.
And I know. And every time it's just like, yes, yes, yes. And your repetition of it's just this. It's the table. It's the immediacy of this, and nothing happened before. And it's like, oh my God, this is so obvious. Like time is not even logical. Like there, nothing happened before this. It's just this. And it's just this isness. And it's, yeah, I mean, in the story in 2018, there was a glimpse of nothing. And then there was a total liberation for 4 months. And then there was a me on the other side of that. And then there was a desperately seeking to find that again. And then it was finding this message. And then it was game over, because when it was realized energetically that it's even the longing that's this, it's even the doubting or the questioning, is it this? It can't be this. And it was like, yes, oh my God, it's freaking everything. It's everything. And then there was this feeling of jumping out of a plane where there was nothing to hold on to. And it was like, oh my God. And it was beautiful and terrifying. And oh my gosh. And then there was the excitement that you've spoken of before, about when you're like, oh my God, it's everything. It's like almost overwhelming that it's everything. And it's like this in loveness, but then it's also relaxing into that. So it's like, it's not all day like, oh my God, it's like, and it can be subtle too. It's not. And then it's like a marriage of the polarities. It's like the polarities collapse, and it's like it's just one, and it's beautiful. So I appreciate the way you've conveyed this, and how you repeat that it's the table, it's this, because it just clicked, and it's so wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for sharing this.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mm, mm, mm. Rose. What is thinking when Rose is not doing it? What is thinking when Rose is not doing it or aware of it? Thoughts can happen, but thoughts happen in space. It's not happening in the body, or they are not Rose from Rose or something. Everything is singular. It has nothing to do with me, with Rose. So there's thoughts, but it has nothing to do with Rose. This is crazy. We are so into this. Everything is happening in me or in the body or somewhere. It's singular. So thoughts happen, wall, table, sound. Has nothing has to do with Rose. There is no Rose. The body isn't real. It can be hand. That has nothing to do with awareness or doing. Even eating, there can be eating. We think because we eat this, there's coming a smell or a taste. No, taste is on its own. This is crazy. This is so only that taste. It's not Rose is tasting that in the story, of course, it's saying like that. But really, it's taste. It's singular. Taste. It has nothing to do with Rose or awareness or any. That's all the story. That's the freedom. Tasting. So how can something be wrong when sound, taste, table, it's that tree. How can it be wrong? It's what it is. It's only when there's a story and separation and I'm here and I want to feel good and all that, then there's a story of right and wrong in time and distance. It's just a story. It doesn't matter if there's a story. It's not wrong. You don't have to get rid of that or lose the story or all that. Don't go into the story, all that. Doesn't matter. It really is. That's amazing. There's nothing wrong with anything. There can be story. Yeah, so what? Then there's story. Yeah. There can be frustration. Of course, there can be. But even frustration is a sensation somewhere. Has nothing to do with the story, but we assume that when there's the story still go on, I can't get out of it, then it seems like, oh, there's something missing. There's not. There's only on top of what's going on, a story about what's going on and that there's something missing. Maybe a belief, you could say. Doesn't mean that what's going on is like, how do you say that? There's a resistance or all that. No, that's what's happening already. The idea of immediacy is kind of wild. It's really wild, yeah. That means no context and also no room for anything. Yes, it is. Not for knowing, awareness, anything. Comments? Yeah, but that's it. Yeah, it's wild. It's like, oh my God, where am I in this story? Yeah. This is about death in the story, of course. Yeah, there's no one. There's no one. And everything is so immediately. That's the intimacy. That's then when there's two, there's a loss of that intimacy. That's just full on. It's like immediately and like that. And then suddenly there's a distance. Like I'm seeing that. And that's that in a way that can feel like that. So there's a looking sometimes also for like really sport and really then there's no one and it's only that thrill like going and then feeling like, yeah, that's looking for that. But it's already in everything. It's just when there's in the end a looking for the loss of that me, of that, because that feels like there's always a distance and not satisfying and all that. And then when everything is lost, it's just immediately. It's just, and it's not no big deal. Not that you feel that the whole day, like, oh God, it's so immediately and all that. No, that's making it. It's a story about what's going on, but it's so there's nothing missing. It doesn't matter what it is. It's that. It's it, or how do you say it? It's everything. That's the freedom. That it's everything. Not for anyone or to anyone. Yeah. And the story seems so important, and everything what's going on in it and what's about you and all that seems so important, and can't lose that. And it's no big deal. There's nothing lost. It's already there, and it's like it's not even remembering what was there before, you could say, but it doesn't matter. Hmm. And it's already everything. So it's thinking, I don't have that. Those thoughts can happen. It's only thoughts. It's a thought like that. Yeah, can happen. Doesn't have any meaning. We think it has meaning. No, nothing has meaning. Ooh, that's also something. Doesn't go anywhere, but it doesn't matter. Oh, that's a question. I thought didn't see that. Is everything thought give a name empty? Oh, I don't understand that. Is everything thought give a name? Well, everything is empty. And there's a lot of ideas about this is that and this is that and this is that. It's a table, but everything is empty. Thoughts are empty. Talking in the story, that can be talking about everything, but it's empty. Everything is empty. It's an appearance. But you don't have to look for, oh, what is the appearance? How can I see that? We're so used to trying to get it or to imagine or do something about it. But it's exactly how it's going. That's complete already. And I can say, yeah, but I don't feel like that. But that, how it's felt and how it's going, that's it. That's why we're talking about it. There's nothing wrong or right with that, with thoughts. It's exactly that. Mm. Have you walked through the floor many times? No, a few times. And then in the first time I forgot because I don't know, of course. And then suddenly I was in the, I remember I was in the station, in the railway station, and suddenly nothing was real. So I was walking through the floors and it felt so free. It was so free. And I was so scared about that freedom. It was too much. I was thinking, oh God, get everything back normal. And then after a while, get normal again. And then it was like, oh my God. And then another moment, I was walking through the stones on somewhere, and it wasn't frightening at all. So I don't know why it was different. But it was just different.
To say nobody is the same as nothing.
No, yeah, no. When I'm talking about nobody, then I don't know if I was saying that, but it's like assuming that there's someone inside and there's nobody inside. I don't remember what I say about nobody, but nothing is happening. I think it's something else. When there's nobody, there's no one or nobody. There's no one inside. The body isn't real, but that doesn't mean it's nobody. It's an appearance of bodies and.
Yeah, that's clear. I was wondering if nobody is when it was it's already gone.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Mm.
And again in chat. Rose. There's a chat.
Oh, it suddenly was going.
There is a chat.
Okay, wait. Did you see that? That everything was just
Yeah, I
reconnect.
saw that too. Yes.
Yes.
I don't see the chat, so maybe you can say it because I can't see it. It's for
Okay.
me. There's no chat.
There's only just the appearance of things, and the appearance is also empty.
Yeah, yeah. There's only an appearance of everything, so there can be an appearance of tables, but also of feelings and sound and smell. It's an appearance of smell, and there's nothing happening. So in the same time, the appearance is not real. Nothing is real. This is crazy. Yeah. Even the body is an appearance. We're so sure of fact that often that the body is real and solid and I have to take care of it. Just seeing a hand or an arm, that's everything. And it's empty. We assume there's a lot of things inside. There's no inside. Oh, this is also crazy. There's no inside and there's no outside. That's also assuming that there's something inside because we have seen on movies and scientific there's something going on inside the arm and all that. This is crazy. It's an appearance and it's only that. It's very that arm of that thing there. And there's no inside, so there's also no outside. So we assume that outside the house there's a street or something else. I don't know. This is everything. What's seen? Some green there. It's that's everything. So there's also no world. It's a construct. There's a world because we see on the television that there's something happening in another country. There are no other countries. It's a story about what's happening in the world and the other countries, and we should think about that and the news and all that. There's this is everything. Mm. Everything is very literally walling. Yeah. No why, no because. Just what it is. And here's something. Sufferings or joy is just another story. When they're suffering, they're thinking there's something wrong and it should be some different. So that's part of the story. Joy can be just joy, like that. So that doesn't need to, that's for me, as I see it, this joy is not the story, but suffering and problems and something is wrong and all that. It's part of the story. There's nothing happening. There's a hand, and that's it. And that whole story about what's going on and it's happening to me and I don't feel good about it and circumstances and all that. It's a story. It's a dream. There's nothing real in that. It's just that idea about what's going on. A lot of ideas about that and assuming this and that. It's a story. Just sitting. A sound. A tree. Tea. Smell. A smell. It goes on, and it's not about me smelling. It's a smell somewhere. Thought. Table. Wall. Light. Stars.
All energy.
It's all energy. Oh, there's something else. Good to hear that when you went through the floor the first time, it rattled you. Now it wasn't the first time. It's funny because I thought, was it the first time or was it the second time? And I can't even remember if which from then it was the first. It can even be that it was first, it wasn't nothing, and then it was frightening me. So I don't remember. It can be both. Sometimes a really short of shifts. And sometimes as reality sort of shifts as I get a sense of this message, I sometimes wonder if I'm losing it, like really, and going insane. And of course, that's the me wondering that, but what a message. Yeah, because it's so many beliefs and concepts. With look around, most people believe that there's a world and all, and everything's solid, and there's me and free will and all that. And then suddenly that's not that strong anymore, maybe in some moment. Then it feels like I'm losing it, of course. And that me construct is a survival mechanism. So it tries to stay alive. So there can be a lot of ideas about what's going on. You don't know. It doesn't matter. But it can be fear, of course. Because it's frightening to lose that thing, that me, that feels like I'm in control, and it helps me to survive and to stay alive and have a nice life or things like that. Yeah. It's not only in the mind or in thoughts, it's a belief. It's embodied. So it's not only hearing and thinking, yeah, that's maybe right, but there's so many embodied beliefs and concepts and about behaving and how everything is and what's important and all that. Yeah. Sometimes there's some beliefs that suddenly not there anymore. Yeah. There's no gradual. So you could think like the first time it was threat, and the second time it wasn't that bad anymore. Can be. I think it was different. It was so. I think it was the other way around. I think in the first time there was no big deal, and then next time it was like, oh my god. So there's no, in that sense, there's no development in that way. It can be completely different. Oh, it's already time. There's already time, and there is no time, but there is time. And especially in this kind of meetings, we'll say we start at 7 and we do it till 8:30. So in the story, there's still time, but there's nothing happening. It's already everything. It's already everything. And there was something going on about, I was thinking about, we are paying for this Zoom also. So maybe there's some people can do a donation if you want to. That would be nice. So just saying it. You don't need to, but it's nice if you want to pay something, some donation through the PayPal. You don't need to, but okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Roes.
Thank you.